Let me now call on Mr. Ong Hua Han, and I look forward to hearing your maiden speech in Parliament.
Mr. Speaker, the Child Development Co-Savings Act, or CDCA, was first introduced in 2001. At that time, Singapore was alarmed with the declining birth rate. The government had to act. The response, the popularly known baby bonus scheme, was born. Its message was clear and unmistakable: to encourage family building and to renew our population. Fast forward to the present, family dynamics have shifted, and the government's response, key amendments to the CDCA, among them a decision to double paternity leave from 2 to 4 weeks. I wholeheartedly welcome this decision, and I support the change. It again sends a resounding message: parenting responsibility is a joint effort and not just a mother's duty. This House is no stranger to the undeniable benefits of active fathers, and I commend the government for championing this. It's clear that when the government recognizes the changing needs of our society, the government responds and acts. Mr. Speaker, while I applaud the government's proactivity in addressing our society's changes, there remains still a group of Singaporeans facing additional challenges. This group I'm referring to are parents of children with disabilities. They too deserve the attention and response by the government. Disability is estimated to affect 3% of our population. This means that about 30 newborns out of 1,000 live births are born with disabilities every year. Children with disabilities often require more specialized care and incur higher expenses than their peers. Their parents shoulder additional financial, physical, and emotional challenges. These are challenges they don't see coming, challenges that affect all income levels. It also goes without saying that the early years of a child are a critical period. Tapping into their growth potential through early intervention ensures greater independence in their later years. Children with disabilities, like all Singaporean sons and daughters, have the same access to the Child Development Account, or the CDA. They could use the funds in the CDA to pay for childcare centres, kindergartens, or even assistive technology like hearing aids. While it's heartening to see an inclusive range of services that caters to most needs, assistive technology can become very expensive very quickly. Cost of living is also rising. Here I pause to ask if the MSF can consider more financial support through the First Step grant or boosting co-matching of the savings of such parents. By enhancing support, we not only ease their financial burden, but also send a strong message to these parents that the government stands with them, recognizes their added challenges, and is committed to ensuring that all children have an equal start to life. Today, there are many support schemes available for persons with disabilities. We live in a blessed age, and we can be thankful for much. Among these schemes, some use a means testing approach. This is a good thing. It's sensible to allocate more to those in greater need. While those in extreme circumstances surely benefit, I worry if these schemes place the same support out of reach for many other Singaporeans. Consider the Assistive Technology Fund, or the ATF. The ATF has the potential to greatly aid persons with disabilities. When used in early intervention, assistive technology offers immense benefits to children with disabilities. For instance, a quality pair of hearing aids can cost thousands of dollars to purchase. And then there are also regular maintenance costs to account for. Yet, their value is undeniable. They provide enhanced sound quality, crucial for early language development and social communication. While the ATF's lifetime cap of 40,000 Sing dollars seeks to account for ongoing costs that could stray well into the tens of thousands, access to the ATF is very limited. To be eligible, per capita household gross monthly income must strictly fall below $2,000. Similarly, there is the Enabling Transport Subsidy, or ETS, which subsidizes dedicated transport fees. Among others, children with disabilities attending early intervention programs can benefit. Again, the reach of the ETS is limited. For Singaporeans to access the subsidy, per capita household gross monthly income must be no more than $2,800. According to SingStat, median per capita household monthly income from work has risen to almost $3,300 in 2022. This means a typical household with substantial assistive technology and transport expenses would not be supported by these schemes. These families, often with one full-time caregiver, need and deserve help too. To address this, could we consider revising the income threshold of such schemes to align with median per capita household income? Or perhaps look beyond household income as the basic qualifying criteria? May I suggest that we factor in actual costs borne by these families in means testing? This further calibrates our approach, ensuring that our well-intentioned policies truly serve those in need. Mr. Speaker, these are very real issues that when addressed well, can lead to a brighter future for many young Singaporeans, in turn benefiting our community exponentially down the road. To share my own personal experience, I was born with osteogenesis imperfecta. This genetic condition gave me brittle bones. During the most challenging period of my childhood, I could sustain up to 6 fractures a year. I was confined at home, often in a cast, when my friends were out there playing in the sun. Needless to say, frequent hospital trips, treatment and surgeries also meant that medical costs were high. Raising children is already a monumental task for most young parents. Caring for children with disabilities adds to the cognitive load. Yet my parents were unwavering in their care. They are the reason why I have become who I am today. Up until junior college, my father drove me religiously to school and back. My mother made the swift decision to become a full-time caregiver shortly after I was born. During primary school, she accompanied me daily, buying food for me during recess and helping for toilet breaks. She even tried to find ways to enrich my learning, bringing me to art and piano classes, long before it was obvious I had zero artistic talent. Mr. Speaker, my story is certainly not an isolated one. Children with disabilities need additional support from their parents, and their parents in turn need support from the community, their employers, and ultimately sound policies. Not all parents have the same ability or resource to do what mine did for me. For struggling parents, finding opportunities to enrich their children's lives can be overwhelming. Some parents come from more difficult backgrounds. Some are single mothers. Some just need a bit more help, some encouragement and support. We need to encourage all parents to look at their child as beacons of potential, despite disability, as assets, not liabilities. Learned helplessness must be unlearned right from the beginning. Children with disabilities can grow up to become world-class musicians, neuroscientists, or elite athletes. We have living examples right here in Singapore. Clearly, disability alone does not prevent one from success. I'm glad that the ministry recognizes that each and every child is precious and can thrive under the right environment. I commend the government's effort to improve upon the CDCA. It's a small step towards parental support, better parental support for young Singaporeans, and it benefits all children, whether they have a disability or not. As we reflect on the government's proactivity towards societal changes, I urge the MSF to consider this third response to share the parenting load of children with disabilities more extensively. Mr. Speaker, notwithstanding my clarifications above, I support the bill.
Thank you, Mr. Ong, for sharing your story.